Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we are diving headfirst into the razor's edge of winter sports, ski flying. We're going to find out just how these athletes seem to defy gravity and fear, launching themselves at over 100 kilometers an hour for just a few incredible seconds of flight. That was no longer ski jumping, that was ski flying. So imagine hearing those words. That was the reaction of a hill designer, Stanko Blaudik, all the way back in 1936. And why? Because an 18-year-old kid from Austria named Josef Bradl had just done something no one thought was possible. He became the first person to soar past the 100-meter mark. And right there, in that moment, a whole new sport was born.
But what really separates jumping from flying? And how did this absolute obsession with distance push the sport and its athletes right to the breaking point?
Well, the biggest difference really just comes down to sheer scale. I mean, a standard large hill for ski jumping is built for jumps around 125 meters, which is already incredible. But a ski flying hill, these things are just monstrous. They are engineered for one thing and one thing only, to launch athletes up to 66% further, way past the 185-meter mark. It's a whole other level of extreme. But this whole push for bigger air, it wasn't exactly a smooth ride. Back in the 30s, the International Ski Federation actually tried to shut it all down. They basically said anything over 70 meters was just too dangerous. But you had this defiant group of pioneers over in Planica, Slovenia, who pretty much just ignored the rules and kept building bigger hills. And by doing that, they basically forced the establishment to create a whole new official discipline, ski flying.
And that one act of rebellion, it kicked off a massive technological and athletic arms race, this really high-stakes battle between human ambition and the cold, hard laws of physics.
So then we jump to the early 90s, and something incredible happens. Jumps suddenly get about 10% longer, almost overnight. Now, the secret wasn't bigger hills. Nope. It was a complete revolution that happened in mid-air. For decades, everybody jumped the exact same way, with their skis held perfectly parallel. Then along comes the Swedish rebel, a guy named Jan Boklöv. He started spreading his skis out into a V shape. And at first, oh man, the judges hated it. They'd hit him with penalties for his ugly form. But science proved him right. Wind tunnel tests confirmed that the V style gave you more lift and way more stability. And pretty soon, everybody was copying the rebel. And of course, the technology had to race to keep up. We're talking about carbon fiber skis, an idea borrowed straight from Formula One, which made them lighter and stronger, basically turning them into wings. Then you get these sleek, aerodynamic suits that literally transform athletes into human gliders. Even the hills themselves were re-engineered to create a safer flight path, as these jumpers flew higher and further than anyone ever thought possible.
But with all that extra distance came a whole lot more danger. In his incredible 1974 documentary, the director Werner Herzog captured this terrifying flight of Walter Steiner, who flew so far he was actually running out of hill. As Herzog narrated in this chilling voice, this point is where the slope begins to become inhuman. He would have landed and surely be dead. It's just a stark reminder of what's at stake.
Which really makes you wonder, right? Who are these athletes that willingly dance with that kind of danger? I mean, what does it take in your mind and your body to decide to fly the length of 2.5 football fields? Well, for starters, every single piece of their gear is a marvel of engineering. The suit isn't just clothing. It's a personal sail designed specifically to catch the air. The skis are much more like wings than skis, super long and wide to generate as much lift as possible. And of course, the helmet. That's been non-negotiable since 1979. The entire getup is about one thing: cheating the wind. But for all that fancy high-tech gear, a win often comes down to what's going on in their heads. As world champion Todd Ladwick admits, sometimes it's as simple as wearing a pair of lucky socks. In a sport where just a split second of doubt can lead to absolute disaster, these little rituals become a crucial part of their mental armor. And their training is just brutally precise. Get this, a training session on the actual hill might only be 8 jumps. Just 8. Why so few? Because every single launch has to be flawless. The real work, the real grind, happens in the gym, with endless imitation jumps, just obsessively breaking down and perfecting that single, explosive moment of takeoff. So why? Why go through the fear, the endless training, the obsession with perfection? Well, it's all for a shot at immortality on the sport's biggest stages. So obviously, Olympic gold is the dream. A win there cements your legacy forever. But many jumpers will tell you there's another prize they want just as much, the Four Hills Tournament. This thing is a grueling, week-long odyssey across 4 legendary hills in Germany and Austria. It's this relentless test of skill and nerve that has been crushing dreams and forging legends since way back in 1953. And what makes the Four Hills so electrifying is its brutal knockout system. You're not just jumping for distance, you're in a head-to-head duel. Just imagine this. You could have the 12th best jump of the day, but if your one opponent beats you by a single point, you're out. It creates some of the most intense drama you'll ever see. And to win all 4 of those events in a single year, that's called the Grand Slam, is to achieve true sporting immortality. Think about this. In over 70 years of the tournament, only 3 athletes have ever managed to pull off this monumental feat. 3. This relentless pursuit of glory. It inevitably leads to one destination, the outer limits of the sport, the hunt for the world record. Back in 1987, this was the number that defined the limits of human flight, 194 meters. It was set by Piotr Fijas using that old parallel style, and it really felt like a record that might just stand forever. But then, the V-style revolution happened, and just 7 years later, in 1994, Finland's Toni Nieminen did what many thought was completely impossible. He smashed the mythical 200-meter barrier. The sport had officially entered a brand new era. And the records just kept falling. By 2017, with technique and technology totally perfected, Austria's Stefan Kraft launched himself an almost unbelievable 253.5 meters. To put that in perspective, that is a flight of over 831 feet. Just staggering. But here's the ultimate irony of modern ski flying. When Stefan Kraft set that mind-blowing world record, he flew so far that getting a clean landing was basically impossible. So what happened? He got bad style points, and he didn't even win the competition that day. It's really the ultimate dilemma for a modern ski flyer, isn't it? Do you jump for the victory today, or do you jump for a shot at immortality? And all this leaves us with one final fascinating question. Now that athletes have reached 253.5 meters, have we finally found the limit? As they continue to push the boundaries of what's possible, are they chasing a new record, or are they flying towards a hard physical wall that can just never be broken? And what happens when that relentless pursuit of greatness finally collides with the laws of nature?